Hey everybody, Cody Alexander, President of United Steelworkers Local 9548, which represents the 450 sisters and brothers who work for Tenaris AlgomaTubes in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. The date today is February 28th, 2022. So we got a couple calls today regarding a 48-hour housekeeping campaign that the company appears to be executing right now. We did a little bit of digging, and it appears that we have a big Tenaris boss coming or some sort of visitor. We're not quite sure. We can't nail it down, but somebody's coming to visit anyways. And so obviously the company's in panic mode, and they're trying to get the tour areas cleaned so that we could put on a facade that we're a well-kept and organized mill. So we were kind of looking up a little bit of legislative stuff to share with everybody about housekeeping, and we came across a workplace safety and prevention services document. The Workplace Safety and Prevention Services, they're a company that we regularly use. Tenaris uses, they hire them for our joint health and safety certification training. We've been working with them for many years. They're not so much labor oriented, they're more corporate oriented when it comes to health and safety rules and regulations. As a union, we tend to prefer to use the Worker Health and Safety Center, but all the same, they are on track with what the legislative requirements are. And so we do support what they do and say. But it was ironic because when we're doing the research, we come across this document and it more or less outlines some of the issues that we deal with in our mill when it comes to housekeeping, specifically with the spills, like the oil spills that are regularly occurring in the hot mill and the dust that is everywhere. It coats everything. So we're going to go through this document with you guys, and I'm going to try not to make it too humdrum and everything, but I'm going to take some time and read through the first page and a half. And I hope you guys follow along. And as always, we'll share the links below this video for people to consume on their own if you want to go back and look at it. There's also a very good checklist in the last couple of pages if people want to print it out and use it at work. Also, it goes to just some management parts, which managers, if you're watching this, you could take some good hints off this document on how to improve your housekeeping in your areas and how to do follow-up and quality control on the housekeeping protocols that you put in place. And as always, people, there's a TSE system, which is Tenaris Safety and Environment Reporting System. We always suggest that if you have any housekeeping or safety issues, that you have your supervisor enter a TSE on your behalf and request from them the TSE code so that you could document it in your notes and share it with the union if you want us to follow up with our Joint Health and Safety Committee to ensure that that TSE was entered. So I'll share the screen here with the Worker Health and Safety Services place, the prevention services, and we'll just more or less go through it as I said. Now, as you can see, they start with good housekeeping at work. We won't get into that, but we'll just do a quick thing on the importance of housekeeping. It goes, think about what could happen if a bunch of oily rags suddenly caught fire one night, or if in an emergency, employees couldn't get out of the work area safely because aisles were cluttered. Imagine those same employees unable to get out altogether because of a blocked exit. Experience has shown that good housekeeping is an essential part of your company's health and safety program. Now, the funny thing with this is just recently we had a bunch of oily rags catch fire, but they were actually oil containment blankets that were left in a precarious area, and sparks and steel metal landed on them that was hot enough to ignite them. And we ended up having a fire in the mill as a result of poor housekeeping. So that's what first brought our eyes to this. So now we're going to go into the benefits of good housekeeping. If you're following along here, it goes on to say good housekeeping at work benefits both employers and employees alike. Good housekeeping can eliminate clutter, which is a common cause of accidents such as slips, trips, falls, and fires, and explosions. Reduce the chances of harmful materials entering the body, examples being dust and vapors. Improve productivity. Improve your company's image. And it goes, good housekeeping reflects a well-run business. An orderly workplace will impress all who enter it, employees, visitors, customers, etc. Help your company to keep its inventory to a minimum. And it continues to say good housekeeping makes it easier to keep an accurate count of inventories. Help your company to make the best use of its space and make the workplace neat, comfortable, and pleasant, not a dangerous eyesore. Now, this was the next ironic part, because from what we're hearing about the current campaign for housekeeping that management's doing over the last 48 hours, it's to basically improve our image. And it will reflect a well-run business to the guest or visitor or big Tenaris boss that's coming. And like we say, is that what's good for the visitor or guest isn't necessarily good for the general public that has their general population, which works there every day, which is all of you, of course, and you're the ones that we care about, your health and safety, not the opinion of a visitor or guest. Even though having a clean mill is very important, we wish they were cleaning it for everybody all the time and not just specifically when we have somebody important coming, because this union, all of you are the important ones. Now, what we'll continue on, it says, what are the signs of poor housekeeping? It goes, there are many signs of poor housekeeping. You may recognize some of these in your own workplace. I know I definitely recognize some of them in the mill. Cluttered and poorly arranged work areas. We see those all the time. Untidy or dangerous storage of materials. We see that all the time. Dirty and dusty floors and work surfaces. All the time. Items that are in excess are no longer needed. That's regular. Blocked or cluttered aisles and exits. That's regular. Tools and equipment left in work areas instead of being returned to proper storage places. That's regular, I'd say. Broken containers and damaged materials. That's regular. Overflowing waste bins and containers. Anybody see those lately? Overflowing garbage cans? That's very regular, and that's a major issue for vermin and pestilence, especially during COVID-19. And spills and leaks. Anybody who tours the hot mill knows that there is oil spilling everywhere. Now, that is a serious issue. We have formal recommendations in with the company on this, and we're still fighting every day to try and get these things rectified, and we'll continue to do so. But as the Workplace Safety and Prevention Services says, that is a problem. And that should be obvious to anybody who sees spills and leaks to know that that is a safety issue that needs to be rectified immediately. Now, these are the parts that could be good for management to read. We're not going to go into them. It's about improving housekeeping in your workplace. For all of our members, you guys have to do what you're ordered to do by the employer. What we ask of you is you just try to do your best to keep your areas clean that you can access without having to leave them with permission, of course, right? It's important that we do what we can and we do our part, even in the absence of good leadership in making this happen. And so with that, we hope that helps clarify for a lot of you what some of the conditions could be that are considered poor housekeeping. Now, we're just going to share this extra one here, which is more related to the Canadian Centre of Occupational Health and Safety. And it's about a basic guide on what to pay attention for and what the purpose is and what some of the benefits are. This one's rather ironic as well, because it addresses what a periodic panic cleanup is. And that's more or less what we believe the last 48 hours is the company's panic cleaning because of the guests that they have coming. So this link will be shared below, but this is from the Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety. And it goes, why should we pay attention to housekeeping at work? And it goes, effective housekeeping can control or eliminate workplace hazards. Poor housekeeping practices frequently contribute to accidents, and the sight of paper, debris, clutter, and spills is accepted as normal, then other more serious hazards may be taken for granted. Housekeeping is not just cleanliness. It includes keeping work areas neat and orderly, maintaining halls and floors free of slip and trip hazards, and removing of waste materials, examples being paper and cardboard, and other fire hazards from work areas. It also requires paying attention to important details such as the layout of the whole workplace, aisle marking, the adequacy of storage facilities, and maintenance. Good housekeeping is also a basic part of incident and fire prevention. Effective housekeeping is an ongoing operation. It is not a one-time or hit-and-miss cleanup done occasionally. Periodic panic cleanups are costly and ineffective in reducing incidents. Now, that's what we believe is occurring over the last 48 hours, is a periodic panic cleanup, which is costly and ineffective. Now, what is the purpose of workplace housekeeping? Well, the Canadian Centre of Occupational Health believes that it can be a cause of incidents such as tripping over loose objects on floors, stairs, and platforms, being hit by falling objects, slipping on greasy, wet, or dirty surfaces, striking against projecting poorly stacked items or misplaced material, cutting, puncturing, or tearing the skin of hands or other parts of the body on projecting nails, steel, or wire or steel strapping. And it goes on to say, to avoid these hazards, a workplace must maintain order throughout a workday. Although this effort requires a great deal of management and planning, the benefits are many. Now, what are some benefits of good housekeeping practices? Well, this goes on to say effective housekeeping results in reduced handling to ease the flow of materials, fewer tripping and slipping incidents in clutter-free and spill-free work areas, decreased fire hazards, lower worker exposure to hazardous products such as dust and vapors, better control of tools and materials, including inventory and supplies, more efficient equipment cleanup and maintenance, better hygienic conditions leading to improved health, more effective use of space, reduced property damage by improving preventative maintenance, less janitorial work, more improved morale, improved productivity, tools and materials will be easy to find. Now, then it goes on to the management parts as well. So we implore management to also use these links and continue down to the third paragraph or in the last document, third page, and examine and understand what you have to do to make a good housekeeping program. And with that, everybody, that'll do our lesson for today. We just thought it was important to kind of address this housekeeping campaign that's been going on for the last 48 hours and kind of highlight to everybody the fruitlessness of it. But we should also take it upon ourselves every day to clean our areas and keep it tidy, because at least we can do our part to help keep each other safe. And with that, everybody, we just want to say, stay safe and solidarity.
Yeah, this one's for the workers who